guys, welcome to my weekly studio share here on my channel. My name is Beatrice Ajayi and I'm an artist and an illustrator, and I love to use different mediums in the way that I create my artwork. I thought I would jump straight into sharing a painting with you today. There's been a lot going on this week that has made me really excited. I have been working in my sketchbook a lot, and I have been coming up with all sorts of fun. I'm always trying to figure out how I can get myself into momentum and how I can go about creating art that isn't hard to do, isn't hard to organize, and I can just wake up in the morning, do all the things I do in the morning, children's run and everything for school, and then I can come in, quick breakfast, and sit down and straight away get my hands into creating artwork. And slowly and surely, I've been making my space a lot easier to use, and a lot more organized because spending more time in it now, I'm starting to understand how I work. And how to organize my studio so that it's a bit more efficient and I don't have to think about trying to fight through, things on the floor, or trying to access areas with my studio where I can create artwork, but then I start looking for tools as well. So that can all be limiting. So in order for me to be able to efficiently get myself into my artwork daily, I actually have had to be organized, which is really hard for me because I grew up in a family of 8 kids, and I'm the oldest, and it was always kind of a thing where I was used to chaos. But in order for me to be able to create, in order for me to be able to organize my thoughts and my process, and to be able to have my mediums around me ready for me to use, in order for me to be able to have all those things, sorry about that noise, just a truck going past. In order for me to be able to be efficient, I've had to be organized. I've just had to face the reality to slowly, etch away and get that whole thing going in the right direction. So I wouldn't say I'm completely there yet, but going in the right direction. So this week though has been amazing because all of that is slowly coming together, and so I've been able to spend time in my sketchbook, drawing and painting, and realizing how valuable my sketchbook is to me in my what would I say, my current situation. As in, I'm always thinking, right, should I order more canvases, for example? And I know what space I have. I know that my space, I want to have different things going on, and I don't want to necessarily clog it with a whole range of canvases that I might not sell straight away. So I've been trying to look for a way that I can still create a lot of work, but then still be able to enjoy the painting. And that's where my sketchbook has been blowing my mind recently. I have been able to just think, right, each page in my sketchbook can be something exciting. I can sit down and I can narrate a story through the visual illustrations that I'm creating, the paintings, and really enjoy myself and get into the process and play around with my paints more. I've always known this was a thing to do, but I've not had the space to actually just get straight into it, which is why I was discussing earlier at the beginning about my organization in my studio space. Because if I come into my space and I'm looking for my paints, I can't find them. If I'm looking for particular tools to use and I can't find that, these are all things that interrupt that enjoyment of being able to create. So I've been setting it up, and here you can see that I have this sketchbook page, and I have my paints just there to the right. I have my water just off the camera shot there. I have some inspiration on my left, like from my other sketchbooks, and I have tools all around me, mediums all around me that I can use. I have my camera set up in a variety of ways that I can either do it landscape like this, or I could do portrait for, like, if I want to do reels. So I'm trying to think of how to make it so much easier that I can just sit down with an idea and just get straight into it. So yeah, so through doing that, through finding all that joy um, in my process and being able to access my tools and mediums, that time I've now spent creating artwork has really been quite fruitful this week. I started off by creating a particular character and then was inspired to create one that was like a hero. And it started off a whole theme of these characters that I'll show you next week because I wanted to get straight into this weekly vlog and share with you. But basically, I've been creating some characters that are hero inspired, and I've been having fun. You can see them actually in my shorts here on my channel if you want to see what they are. And I've been creating a whole bunch of them and really having fun, taking my time, mixing my colors, using a lot more of a muted palette in some ways, introducing colors that I haven't really introduced in my work before, but also looking at this idea that usually when I do my digital artwork, I have a plethora of color options, and it's really awesome to have that selection, but being able to do that in the traditional painting situation has not been as easy for me unless I slow down. So a lot of the time I use quite saturated colors, and that I feel I have to usually layer them quite a lot to get the different kind of hints of colors and to push some colors back and pull some forward. So it takes longer, I feel, to try and get a certain kind of color arrangement. So, but then if I actually spend the time to mix particular colors, something else happens for me that is really quite exciting, and that's what I've been delving into this week. And it's been so much fun being able to take my time, mixing colors that are all kind of linked to each other. They're harmonizing with each other, as you can see here with this character in front of you. I started off just with my red china marker, and then I've slowly started adding in the colors, and at every point you're always thinking of the next step. So that's what I've been doing here. And when I'm mixing my paints and I'm taking my time and I'm seeing the colors I'm creating and it's giving me joy, I'm going on to start learning what colors I can put beside each other, and making my characters really different from what I had them before. I don't know how to explain it to you, but the way I'm approaching my characters at the moment feels like there's something new. Even though I've painted these big-eyed characters for a while, it just feels really exciting what I'm doing with it right now. So like I said, you can check out my shorts here on YouTube, and you can see the different ones that I've been playing around with and creating the different characters. So yeah, the theme, heroes. Why heroes? I have no idea. I just got the inspiration to paint a character that had a cape, and I'm always in the back of my mind this kind of an aspect of having brown kids with capes. It's not a common thing I see, but on the other side of it, I'm like, my son recently has been really excited about the new Spider-Man cartoon coming out, and the character in that one is a black boy. And so all these things sometimes get into my head where I feel I need to represent that a lot more for my kids, because I can draw a lot of different skin tone kids, which you will see when you look through my shorts. There's a variety of kids and everything, but I want to actually, like, as a parent, for myself as a creative person, to have my kids see that a lot more common of me, doing that, of having kids in capes and thinking of them as heroes. So yeah, he's excited to see that movie at some point. He's seen the first one, he wants to see the second one, and I think that must have stuck in my head for me to start creating these characters, these heroes. So and then also obviously the other side would be saying having girl heroes. So I for myself know that I've always wanted to be a hero. I am a closet hero. Um, and I've always wanted to wear a cape. I'm just gonna admit that right now. I've always wanted to wear a cape. I don't know what scenario will allow for that, but it would be awesome to do that at some point, and there'll be some wind blowing, and I would just look awesome. But yeah, so I've had fun basically creating different kids in capes, and I'm really enjoying this whole new theme. So I can see me doing some more for a while and really getting my teeth into it and coming up with really interesting storylines for them as well. Um, when I've been creating the ones that you see in shorts, what I've been doing is kind of trying to bring in the drama into the scene. So you see the character, but I'll sometimes kind of have rays of kind of a different color in the background that looks like there's kind of some action that's about to take place, that's taken place, and this is like a pause in that moment of action. So yeah, I really love the characters. They're really exciting to look at, and I love the colors that I'm using as well, like this muted gray beige in the background. Um, Trying to control myself from making it too busy and all sorts of stuff. But I'm also learning for myself ways of approaching my art like this, because I am producing products that are for consumption. For example, like I have tote bags, I have greeting cards, and learning my color palette is really important in thinking about what attracts, people, and what doesn't, and what could be too busy or what might not be too busy, and all sorts of stuff. So I really love the way that I added muted colors in the background. So even though they weren't like, very saturated, they were still individually visible. They were very muted, almost like pastels in this one. But I really loved playing around with the colors in these paintings I've been creating. So it's going to be fun to share more of them. And I think I want to keep that theme up for a little while so that I really get into what it is that might be trying to come out, what messages I'm supposed to be getting from creating these little hero characters. Another thing is using my sketchbooks. I mean, I feel like it's just like something has just been revealed to me. It should have been there all this time, but I decided not that long ago, a couple of weeks ago, no, let's say a couple of months ago, to buy was it four? I think it was four sketchbooks, A-size ones, like the one that you're seeing here. But this is an Arteza one. But the ones that I got were a different company, and the reason I got them was because I was thinking of creating my different subject matters in each sketchbook individually. But that became a very limiting thing, so I've thrown that away as an idea. But basically what happens now when I'm painting and I'm in a frenzy and I need to kind of get the ideas out there, or I'm in the mood to paint more than one character straight away, it's like I paint like I'm doing right now, and then I put that aside and I have another sketchbook ready for me to play about with and create a new character on a new page. So that's the way I've been using them. It's not been that each sketchbook has been for an individual subject. Instead, I've adjusted that to being in the moment and being able to have different pages that I could just go from one to the other until I feel that I've got that momentum out of myself. But I'm really enjoying the side of being able to create on a substrate that doesn't take up space, because this is another thing with my sketchbook. If I were to have canvases that are larger, 36 by 48 or 32 by 48 inches, that's going to take up space. But having a sketchbook, creating artwork that, sketchbooks sometimes people think don't have to have very detailed work, or don't have to have work that you've invested a lot of time in. I feel like people think of sketchbooks as something just to quickly draw down an idea and just leave it. But as you can see here, I feel like this is quite a complete painting I'm putting into this sketchbook. and I can always scan it and I can create greeting cards or different things from it, prints. So I'm using my sketchbooks as a way of logging beautiful paintings. And also with acrylic, it sticks, the pages can stick together. So I've been using either like a baking sheet to put between the pages so that they don't stick together. Or you can get, is it glisten bags? I'm trying to say how you say that. But you can get different kind of sheets that you can put in between, even in between like oil pastels, so they don't stick together. So I'm thinking that I might need to do that if I'm going to fill this whole sketchbook with acrylic paintings in this way. But I am really enjoying playing around with these characters. They are so amazing, so much fun, and I'm using it as a way to practice my colors as well. So I mean, to the side I've set out, there's some Indian yellow, some scarlet red, crimson red, there was some black, some white, burnt umber as well. I'm trying to think if the other one there is apricot or some kind of a yellow ochre. And then I have like a pearlescent, a sapphire pearlescent blue. So I was really having fun getting to know these colors because I would mix them and get different combinations. I really love the burnt umber because the burnt umber with the Indian yellow were giving me a really gorgeous green, which I loved a lot. So yeah, just toning down my painting has been a lot of fun, and discovering these heroes has been awesome. So what I'm going to say is, if you've never been on this channel before as well, please do subscribe. And as I said at the beginning, my name is Beatrice Ajayi, and I love to work with different mediums. This medium I'm working with is acrylic paint, and I originally drew this character with China markers, but I love to use watercolor and a whole lot of other mediums as well. But please do return. I do weekly vlogs like this one, studio stuff, just to share what I've been doing. There's a lot more going on, but for now I will leave it here. So I'll see you next week. Have an awesome day. Bye.